and Bartok Guitarsplat is the guest tonight here on the Noise program. There was an interesting story in the Globe and Mail this week. I don't know how widely it got reported, but apparently there are some scientists down in the States who did some research on the effect that atonal music had on newborn babies. And as you might have guessed, when they played nice, melodic, concordant music, the babies were very happy and giggled and seemed genuinely interested in the music. And when they played stuff that was more discordant and atonal, the babies would cry and look away and not be very happy at all. And the scientists from this incredibly stunning experiment have determined that atonal music is just unnatural. It is not natural for human beings to listen to that music. And I guess the whole point of this experiment was to refute virtually the entire history of experimental in the 20th century, starting with people like Schoenberg. Of course, Schoenberg would argue that his music was not atonal at all, but in actual fact was pantonal, the synthesis of all keys rather than the absence of any key whatsoever. But, if we didn't have music that was somewhat atonal or discordant, we wouldn't have Bartok Guitarsplat tonight. We wouldn't even have Black Sabbath or lots of other things too. So, I thought this was an awfully silly story for the Globe and Mail to be devoting so much time to on page 3. Anyway, our guest, as I said, was Bartok Guitarsplat. How you doing?
Hi, Alan.
Hey, Bartok.
How are you?
Real good.
Good.
I think that what we should do is just have you play something.
We'll do our sound check.
Yeah, we'll do a sound check here.
We'll do our acoustic electro-psychotic sound check.
Take it away.
Well, that was a sound check. Now we can get into doing some real playing.
Okay.
Some real weirdness.
Describe your setup there for the people who are at home listening.
Okay, well, for you folks at home, this is my perfect gig. This is the gig I live for, to come into a radio station and plug directly into your radio. That's what I've done. I've come into CJSW, and I've brought 4 instruments with me, one being my voice. I've brought some electronic effects pedals, digital delays, digital samplers, a distortion pedal. And I've brought these instruments that are acoustic instruments. There's a mandolin, a dobro, and a semi-hollow electric guitar. And what I've done is I've pre-mixed those instruments into a little mixing box I have here. It's just basically 4 volume controls. Have a master volume out on that goes into my effects pedals. Then there's a line out that goes directly into the microphone cable here that goes to your console that sends the radio signal out over the airwaves and into people's radios. And now those radios have become my amplifiers. So if you want to really crank it, you can just turn it right up.
Now, what kind of effects are you using?
These are Boss, as a manufacturer's name. I have 6 of them all lined up here. The octave, the super feedbacker, a couple of samplers, and a couple of delays.
Now, how did you get into playing this music? I mean, what was the genius of this idea? I mean,
well,
the genius of this
it's
idea.
not so much a genius of it.
The genius is
really,
the word.
I got a digital delay effects pedal, around 1983 and 1984. And you can do a looping thing on it like this. You can go. Well, anyway, I was trying to demonstrate a little. So what's happening there is I sampled that little bit of noise. It could go like this is the loop that you get with a pedal. And it just keeps looping over and over again. So I was able to kind of jam with myself, but the looping's really, really short, so you're really limited by the kind of riffs or licks that you can sample into the box itself. And then over a period of time, I managed to acquire a couple of other digital pedals that just give, that electronic fun stuff. That stuff that, I like the acoustic electro-psychosis is what I perform in this particular configuration, which I don't do in concert all that often, especially for like a rock and roll gig or something like that. I usually just play one instrument through the pedals, and because the setup is just way too involved to bring a lot of stuff for like a live performance. But a radio performance is like you can take your time setting up, and it's more a concert format kind of thing. And like the lights are really dimly lit, and
we could dim them more if you want.
And so this particular performance tonight is one that you probably would very rarely catch me doing in a live situation. But I like to sample all these different instruments and have them overlying on top of each other, and it gets into the psychotic effect. It does, because sometimes the pedals start going off in different directions, and you get these oscillating things that happen and out-of-time things that happen. And but in the world of electroacoustic music, what's happening is it's electronic effects, like, say, the synthesizer was probably one of the first forerunners of electroacoustic music. So it's electronically contrived music that is being reproduced acoustically via your speakers or something like that, headphones or something. Whereas I come from an acoustic background, playing mandolin and bluegrass and that. So I've gone and taken acoustic instruments and then put those into the electronic medium, and then send it out through an amplifier. But in this case, it's great because I don't even have an amplifier here. I'm listening to all this through a pair of headphones. Oh.
Well,
maybe I'll try something here. For those folks at home that have tuned in and tuned their radios up really loud.
I would make one suggestion there, and that is the guitar is considerably louder than the other instruments.
Okay.
So on that little mixer you got there.
I'll just bring down the guitar.
Yeah.
And everything else was pretty well balanced?
Yeah, not bad.
Okay.
You've been listening to Live in the Studio music courtesy of Bartok Guitarsplat here on Noise. The program is Noise, heard every Thursday night on CJSW from 9 till 10:30. My name's Alan Baekeland, and Bartok is getting set up here. How you doing? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You're back.
So I'll tell you what that was called Winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually always played on the dobro, but tonight I got to throw in all the other instruments. So I took on some new facets of Winter.
I'm going to play a tape underneath here, because you gave me a tape to play.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
In the background, as we talk, as we chat. So, you are like a maker of tapes of
experimental,
prolific proportions.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
It's you've got you've got about 40 cassette releases or something like that over the last 10, 15 years.
15 years of making research and development experimental music. What's playing in the background is some music I did with a friend of mine in Toronto by the name of John Magyar. He's an engineer-producer. And we cut 2 demo CDs of music like what's in the background.
And but you've also got your own cassette label.
Well, I used to have this label I called Anonymous Audio, and when I first started it, it was kind of supposed to be a very not fictitious, but a very anonymous kind of label that I could make weird music and release it into this label, and nobody would know who I was. I would be a mystery musician kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then over the years, the Bartok Guitarsplat pseudonym, the fun name, became a live player, and I didn't really know what to do with the guy, because really Bartok Guitarsplat is more a concept than an actual person. So nowadays when I do gigs, I do them as Rodney Brent. Although if you come to a Rodney Brent gig like I'm going to be playing tomorrow at the Maritimers Reunion, which is on 5th Avenue and Crowchild Trail, I guess.
Yeah, right.
I don't have the address right in front of me. But I'll be doing a little bit of the psychotic music, but I keep it a little more tamer and in just kind of rock riffing and stuff like that. I don't get as much into making noise, as well as I throw in a whole bunch of my vocal repertoire of bizarre, eccentric blues, country, bluegrass material that I like having fun with. And apparently people have fun with it too.
Well, how did you get a gig at the Maritime Union Association then?
They actually got a hold of me. And because earlier this summer I had a chance to play the main stage at the Calgary Folk Festival for a 10-minute spot. Mm-hmm. And I felt very fortunate to get that because I was able to go out and do a little bit of mandolin music, going from a traditional approach and going also into the pedal approach of taking it to outer space and really messing around with it. And then I got a call from someone who was interested in having me perform at their venue. So I'm doing that tomorrow night, and I'll be playing from 9:30 until 1 o'clock in the morning. So there's lots of time in the evening tomorrow, Friday, to go to the Maritimers Reunion. And I'll be playing some a little bit like what I did tonight.
Mm-hmm. But then you're also playing the Friday after that down at the Night Gallery, or so you just learned.
So I just learned.
With Dinner is Ruined,
yeah.
Who are another Toronto band.
Yeah.
Did you ever cross paths with them in Toronto?
I've met some of the guys like Dale Morningstar and Don Kerr, who's no longer with the band, but I chummed around a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So it should be kind of funny, Hey, what's Toronto doing? Same old thing.
So what possessed you to get to start playing mandolin in the first place? Like, how were you influenced to do that?
Oh, that was straight ahead bluegrass.
Yeah.
That was late 1970s. I was in a band called Day Late and a Dollar Short, and it was a bluegrass band, pretty traditional outfit, although we got into some more progressive newgrass. And we toured all over Alberta, all the small little rural towns, Olds. We played a lot down in the Crow's Nest Pass.
So you just started playing mandolin in that band without ever having picked up the instrument before? Or?
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, basically. I'd been playing mandolin for about a year before I got into this bluegrass band, and that was a real eye-opener. I tell you, bluegrass is definitely one music medium to teach you your chops in that vein. I mean, it's a different approach than, say, jazz chops, but you certainly learn your scales and your rhythms. And because it was a pretty serious outfit that we did, that we took it. Well, it was our livelihood. Well, like we were on the road, being a road band.
Yeah.
And but there was times I didn't know what I was doing on the mandolin.
Well,
playing the key of B. What?
Well, I guess one way that the bluegrass influence still informs your music, your electroacoustic music, or your acousto-electric music. Sorry.
Acoustic electro. Yeah. Either way.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Is you often play? I know this isn't particularly by design, but you play sort of at bluegrass tempos.
Yeah, that's probably just patterns are set at an early age, and
yeah.
Although there is in a live situation, I tend to do that. It depends on the environment, I guess. Like the environment, I guess.